Hi, I'm Simona, and I want to say a big hi to the AIR family. Hi. So, in terms of lockdown and quarantine, I just want to make a couple of points about my experience, which is one being perspective. I think perspective is very important in life, period, but never more important than now. So, to explain what I mean by that, when lockdown began, I guess I could have taken it two ways. That one, this is something that's being imposed on me, and second, that this is something I choose. So I'm not being forced to stay at home. I have a choice to stay at home and not go out there and expose myself to the virus, not risk being a carrier and exposing somebody vulnerable to the virus, somebody more vulnerable than me, and also just not to be part of the problem and instead maybe to be part of the solution, which is stay inside, flatten the curve. Now, a lot of people have been doing different things during lockdown, using this time to reconnect with family, to take up their all their passions and hobbies that they never had time for, such as like playing the guitar or cooking some more or going back to painting, or all of these things that we always kind of told ourselves that if only I had the time. So now I guess we have the time, and many people are doing that. But a lot of people are also finding out that they've been lying to themselves, that the I don't have time was just an excuse, that they didn't really want to do that thing that they were putting off. So in my case, it was like things like exercise, like just stuff we tell ourselves to make ourselves feel better, that I'm just so busy, if I had the time I would do more of XYZ. So I discovered I'm a big fat liar. I hate exercising. I love walking, I love swimming, I love dancing, but if I have to do it alone and as part of a fitness regime, I suck at it completely. So it's very hard for me to accept that and to kind of work on it, but I have been trying. And the other thing that I gave up was smoking. So that too was a matter of perspective, that I could have chosen to think of it as, oh no, it's lockdown, I'm not going to get cigarettes easily, I'm going to have to pay extra, I'm not going to get the brand I like. Or I could just say, it's going to take extra effort to go out there and get cigarettes, and I may not even succeed, and I might be miserable, and I'll be cursing every day saying, shit, yeah, I just wish I had cigarettes, or I'm dying to smoke. Or I could take the opposite stance and say, I have smoked for 26 years. 26. I'm 42 now, so that's like pretty much half my life, I think. I mean, I'm really bad at math, but you get what I mean. I've been smoking since I was 16. And I looked at this as, wow, this is an amazing opportunity. I am never going to get an opportunity like this because I'm an addict, okay? I mean, I'm a smoker who is addicted to nicotine. I'm not a social smoker. I'm not one puff at a party from somebody else's cigarette and then I can go without. No, I am a smoker. So I accepted that a long time ago, and which is why it made it easier for me to come to terms with the fact that I want to quit being a smoker. I want to stop smoking. Except addiction isn't that simple, so I struggled a lot with it, and this came like a golden opportunity where it was like, you can't smoke, so don't smoke. So the moment I took the decision that I'm going to stop wanting to smoke, and I'm not going to go out and try to get cigarettes, I'm not going to do jugaad, I'm not going to beg, I'm not going to borrow, nothing. This is lockdown, can't get out of the house, can't get cigarettes, perfect. So it just crossed the 2-month mark, and no, it hasn't been easy, it hasn't been simple, it hasn't been painless. I mean, but it's all mental, right? So that's the good point. And in terms of the choice, I had the choice to be miserable or I had the choice to be joyful. That for every day that went by, I'm like, wow, that many more days where I've successfully not smoked, and I'm not dead, I've survived. So I guess what I was doing was killing me. Quitting it has actually given me back my health, definitely saved me a ton of money, and I feel great. I feel great knowing that at a time when many people are actually sinking deeper into their addictions, and my heart goes out to them, because this is a really tough time for many people. It's like the anxiety, the uncertainty. Nobody knows what's going to happen. Nobody knows about the economy, which is definitely going to tank and crash. Nobody knows about what is the situation in terms of the vaccine that's supposedly being made, or how long we'll have to be in quarantine. It's just been extended further and further and further. Nobody knows about how many jobs are going to be destroyed. They're doing layoffs almost every day. People are taking pay cuts. No one has any idea about the future. And I think at a time like this, we all look for comfort. So there are many kinds of addictions. Some people are drinking more, and then of course when they run out of alcohol, we all knew what happened in the news when the alcohol shops opened for a little while. Then there are people who are addicted to maybe painkillers and things like that, and now they can't get them because, well, for whatever reason. And then there are people who are addicted to all kinds of things, right? So everyone's struggling right now, and I feel not to be arrogant or anything, I'm not putting down those people. I just feel personally that at a time when it would have been so easy for me to make the excuse that, oh, I'm stressed out, I need to relax, I need my cigarettes, I chose to do exactly the opposite and quit. So I'm feeling very proud of myself, and it's a good feeling because smoking made me feel like shit. Every cigarette that I smoked, I felt, God, I'm so weak, why can't I just quit? I hate this, it's a disgusting habit, it's an expensive habit. So that part I'm really happy about, and I just wanted to share that, because also I think it's very important to get support as a smoker. And finally, I think certain small things are really helping me and have helped me through this whole quarantine and lockdown thing, is that growing up with my grandmother, my maternal grandmother, she was a very frugal woman. Well, she was poor, so she didn't really have a choice in the matter. But a lot of her actions, simple things, conserving water, because she didn't have running water in the house, at least when I was very young. Later, in the village, she used to live in Manori village. She's no more, but Manori is in just off Malad, Marve in Bombay. And watching her conserve water, watching her, the way she would plan out meals, the way she would use every part of everything, and always in a joyful way, not as in, oh, we're so poor. No, it was always like, okay, let's make a game out of this. Okay, let's see how we can be more creative. And thanks to her, I think during lockdown, I'm blessed. I've not had a shortage of any food, but being innovative, like, oh, okay, in between, can't get fresh veggies. What can I do with what I have at home? Be creative with lentils and rice and this and that. And it made me feel really happy that I was looking at it joyfully rather than as something that was lacking or something that I was being deprived of. So I have her to thank for that. And I think finally what I want to share was a bit about communication, that when we are so isolated, I live alone and I have 5 cats in the house right now. Yes, I am a crazy cat lady, but of those 5, 3 are mine. 1 is a permanent foster, that's a long story, and 1 is a temporary foster. So basically, communication becomes very important at a time like this. Keeping in touch with friends, keeping in touch with people you haven't actually been in touch with for a long time. And I think that kind of made me realize that I've not kept in touch with certain friends for so long. You always think, oh, I can anytime pick up the phone and talk, except you realize I haven't spoken to them in 2 years or 3 months or whatever the period is. So that process of reconnecting with people, even if it was just to say, hey, how are you coping with corona, how are you coping with lockdown, how bad is it in your area, what are you up to, how are you managing work, or etc, etc, etc. Just getting back in touch with people. Getting back in touch with people I've had fights with for stupid reasons, and then that ego is so big that you kind of like, okay, let them call, I won't call. And then you just take that stick out of your butt and you're like, okay, you know what, calm down. We don't know what the future is like. Do you really want to kind of leave that horrible note, leave things hanging on that note? And I was like, no. So many friends that I reached out to, and some responded, some didn't. And it really felt really good just to kind of put everything aside, ego, blame, misunderstandings, and just communicate with loved ones that, are you okay? Or, hey, I'm okay, let me know what's up with you. So it was really nice. And then I finally decided to use that to create a kind of series. So I do podcasts as well, and I started creating a series that I'm sharing on social media where I'm talking to all my small food business friends and finding out how badly they've been affected by the quarantine and by all of these regulations, that once places open up, they need to make sure they have gloves and sanitizers and social distancing and temperature checks and all of these things. So in the process of finding out how these friends of mine are doing, I decided I'm sure other people want to know what's going on. So I started making this series, and then I realized I have a lot of doctor friends across the world, and I said, let me just find out, because they're actually on the front lines. They are exposing themselves to the virus every single day. They're dealing with patients who've got extremely high viral loads, and that is really, really dangerous. And sometimes they're working extra shifts. I mean, just they can't meet their own families because then they might transmit it back to their family members. So I was like, I need to find out how they're doing. And then I decided, why not? I'm not seeing enough stuff on the news that I want to see. And I said, I'm going to make a series and speak to all of these. I'm calling it my friends on the front lines. So I feel like this made me feel so good that I'm kind of helping in some small way, and it keeps me busy, because right now as a freelancer, work is definitely not just slowed down but almost like stopped completely. And the bank account may be empty, but my heart is not. And I think that is something important to focus on. It's not easy because you can't pay bills with your heart, but I'm thinking, hey, doomsday predictions, feeling terrible, going like, "Arey yaar, ab kya karenge?" doesn't help anybody. Just I chose the perspective of, okay, everyone's in the same boat right now. We'll worry when we have to worry, and right now just focus on doing, on being, and on living, because we are alive. So it's better not to forget that in the fear that we might die. And I just hope everybody stays safe. Everybody has something to gain from this message of mine, that it's a matter of perspective, it's about communication, and also acknowledge the little things that you have received as gifts from either your parents or from a teacher or from your grandparents or from a friend that have helped you through the lockdown. And I think that's a fantastic way to pay tribute to them and to kind of keep that gratitude spirit alive.